thoughts on what your mindset is heading into this fight right now?
Well, obviously, we got a great mindset going into the fight. Yes, the first fight did not turn out as we planned, but through hard work by myself, my team, and a little help from the man up above, no matter who you believe in, there's somebody up there helping us out. So I got another opportunity. And so obviously I got a great mindset going into the fight. We're still confident. As you can see, we're in great shape. We're going over there with basically the same game plan, but a different machine to operate.
How are you a different fighter, a better fighter since the last time?
Well, I'm healthy. You know, if you came to my first camp, which none of you guys did, by the way, shame on you guys, you wouldn't see me jump a rope. You wouldn't see me bouncing around. I had an injured leg. I didn't know I had a torn meniscus. I just knew something was wrong with my leg. But as a fighter, you know, you taught to train through and run through those things. It was a mistake, obviously. But now I'm healthy, and I'm able to get in the proper shape you need to be. The thing about the Klitschkos, they are in great, wonderful shape. And if you can't match that conditioning, you have no chance. So I think we can match their conditioning.
You mentioned physical, but how about mental and in terms of being a smarter fighter too?
Definitely. I mean, obviously I started fighting when I was 27 years old. By the time I was 27, this guy was already on his way to becoming a world champion, a gold medal winner. You know, all the experience in the world. And I made no secret about it. He beat me mentally. You know, I made no secret about it. I never lied to myself. I might lie to you guys. But the truth is, he beat me mentally. So I've also prepared myself for that too. Mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm prepared. Spiritually, I'm prepared. So now it's just up to me.
How did he beat you mentally?
Well, like I said, I got tired early. So that played into my mind. And Wladimir and the great Emmanuel Stewart, they saw that. And, you know, they just kept pressing the fight where they wouldn't give me a break. You know, he did a lot of little things. I'm not going to say they was exactly dirty, but they were meant to wear me down. And it worked perfectly. So, you know, we take that out the equation. I don't even have to worry about that mentally.
How about the travel and the environment in that first fight?
Well, obviously, you know, we came over there 6 days earlier. You know that probably was a mistake also. But they only give you a certain amount of days. They control all the money. They control pretty much everything. If they don't want you to have a hotel, you won't get a hotel over there. Mm-hmm. You know, we called over there and everything is booked for my but all of a sudden now I got a room. So, you know, but we coming over there a little bit early. My team did a great job of making sure that was the case. And, you know, jet lag does play. People that have never been across seas and tried to be in a sporting event, it's a big issue. But I think we've done enough conditioning where we've conquered that issue also.
Did you have trouble finding sparring partners that tall?
No, it's not even a question of finding sparring partners tall, because we didn't spar with everybody tall. Mm-hmm. We spar with fighters. Guys that wanted to come in and knock my head off and prove themselves against Tony Thompson. Mm-hmm. You know, well, yes, we got some tall fighters like Dante Wilder, great athletic, tall guy. Malik Scott, another great athletic, kind of tall guy. But nobody can match what Wladimir does, whether they tall or not. So I wanted fighters in there. I wanted guys that was going to push me, that was going to try to break me mentally, try to break me physically, and see what I responded like.
What do you expect to weigh? You look slimmer.
I know, right? I don't know what I'm going to weigh, man. Honestly, I mean, that's just the God honest truth. I done got different readings. I even took all my clothes off in the nurse's office. She was like, oh, you cannot take your, I said, it's a nurse's office. You can't take clothes off the doctor. So I got 3 different weights. So I don't know what I'm going to weigh. I feel good, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. So the day of the fight, when you're ready, Klitschko's, they're known for having the one solid jab. So are you going to pretty much move around that jab, or are you going to stay there and fight him?
Well, I mean, you'd be an absolute idiot to stay there in a straight line with him. I mean, and that's exactly what I was. I was an idiot. You know, obviously our game plan, and believe me, my coach, Barry Hunter, did a great job of telling me, stay offline, get away from the jab, eliminate the jab, and you basically eliminate his right hand. Because without him being comfortable with the jab and the left hook, he'll seldom just throw a right hand out the blue if you're not just standing in front of him. So obviously we don't want to stand in front of him.
So are you going to be more aggressive this fight with him?
I'm definitely going to be. I'm aggressive in all my fights. If you look at my CompuBox records, I'm always at the top of the heavyweight division in terms of punch output. Maybe not that fight again. You know, I'm not even going to relive that fight, but I'm going to go back to being not an old Tony Tiger Thompson, but the old Tony the Tiger Thompson. We're going to go in there, we're going to throw a lot of punches, we're going to press the fight, we're going to be the boss in the ring.
So he's going to be in for a shock to see the Tony that he's going to see the day of that fight?
I think so, because I honestly think, you know, they thought they saw the top me, and it wasn't, you know, and I think they just think it's just a whole hum type of fight, you know.
So you've spoken of the kind of respect that you have for Wladimir Klitschko now. What were your thoughts about him going into the first fight?
Well, I still have respect for him.
No, I mean, going into the first fight back then, you had respect
I
for him?
always had respect for Wladimir. I wasn't one that I looked past his nationality. I thought he was a great champion. Always. A good person, too. I've met him a few times, you know. Even when we wasn't fighting, we were sparring. Met him before, him and his brother. Great gentleman. You know, I get him, you know, all the kudos in the world. You know, if you want your kids to model after somebody, you couldn't pick better people. You know, they excellent in what they do as sportsmen. They got their education. They medical sports doctors. I mean, they're businessmen. What's not to like about them? You've never heard about them getting in trouble. So what's not to like about him? I love him, but I love my brother. But I beat his ass if they gave me a chance to fight him for the heavyweight championship of the world and paid me. So that has nothing to do with it.
I was saying, watching the way other fighters approach Wladimir, you think the mistake that they make is that they take him lightly and think that he can be broken?
No, I don't think that's the case. I think if actually they give him too much respect in the ring. You see they try to run around and wait for the one big shot and hope his chin doesn't hold up. We're heavyweights. All of our chins are suspect if you get hit right. So that's not my strategy. My strategy is to go in there and push him around, be the boss.
Tony, what have you done to improve your mental toughness?
Be honest with myself. You know, you can't improve your mental toughness unless you honestly assess yourself and give yourself a mental breakdown. I broke myself down mentally. I was emotional about it. You know, I cried like a baby a few times, alone to myself. You know, everybody knows they was there. I cried after I lost, you know, and when I got home, I watched the fight, I cried all over again because I knew it was something that nobody's ever done to me before, not even in terms of boxing, in terms of life. Everybody know I had a tough life. I've never been broken mentally. I've always been a strong person in my family. And to have this man come and take that away from me was a shock to my system. But I was honest about it, and so I prepared myself for it.
Obviously, the paycheck is one of the inspirations, but also the titles that you'll be fighting for. Is that a big inspiration for you, too?
Definitely. I mean, no matter what they say about me, how ugly my style is, where I came from, what I look like, I got the 1980s Larry Holmes body, it won't even matter. You will forever have to list me as one of the heavyweight champions in history. There's nothing you can do. You can talk bad about me, but you can't take that away. You can't put an asterisk by it. You can't do anything. All you have to do is address me as, hey champ. Yes, you a terrible champ, but hey, champ.
Is part of that self-evaluation being able to call yourself an idiot and realize what you did?
Definitely. I mean, I call up people idiots all the time. So,
but it's part of the pride thing. It's part of pride thing.
Yeah, well, so definitely. I mean, if I do something that I feel was idiotic, of course. I mean, like I said, my trainer, you know, I disappointed him because I knew we had a game plan, and I knew he set the game plan. It was a great game plan, and I didn't carry it out. And that was a shock for him to see me not to be able to listen to what he was telling me. So, yeah, so of course I can call myself an idiot because it was an idiotic thing to do.
So why did you listen, though?
It was, like I said, it was a matter of conditioning. It was a matter of mental beat down. It was a combination of all those things. I think the biggest thing, if I had to lay my hand on one thing, I wasn't physically ready.
Still, you took him late in the fight.
Well, that's just what mental toughness I had, what will I had. That's what that was. I wasn't totally drained, but I wasn't to my peak form.
Speaking of will, what else do you fight for? You know, you got the belts on the line, you got the money on the line. So what else inspires you to be the, you know, the world champion that you want to be?
We be all here all day talking about what inspires me. I mean, obviously my family. I got 7 great kids. I want to secure their children's futures. You know, not just my kids. And I want my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles. I think about everybody. And then I think about my city, DMV. I love DMV. You know, I want to do something great and bring some positive vibes and news to this part of the town and country. And you know, last but not least, my country. We had a heavyweight champion in X amount of years. It's time for that streak to end.
So do you use that inspiration to bring with you inside the ring to put you those extra edges in the, you know, later rounds?
Definitely. I mean, well, those things are already going to be there, so you don't have to put them in. You know, those are natural things for me. I don't have to bring them in the late round. They're already in my being. That's just who I am and what I feel. I don't have to generate false hope or buzz or whatever it is you call it, or motivation. That's me. So those things are going to the ring with me. So
what kind of differences, if any, do you think will be in Klitschko's game plan this time?
that's hard to tell because he hasn't really fought anybody that pushed him. So it's hard to see any improvement in his last 4 or 5 fights. And again, I know he has all the confidence in the world in the way he beat me. So I'm not gonna be able to tell that until I'm actually in the ring with him. 4, 5, 6 rounds down the line, and we're both gassed and we're both trying to figure out a game plan.
Tony, why do you think it has been so long that since the Americans won the heavyweight championship of the world?
Well, I think as far as we still have the people, I just don't think we have the mentality anymore. A lot of our greater athletes are going to other sports because boxing is sometimes so hard and it doesn't pay unless you're one of those guys. If you're not one of those guys, you're not going to take a chance like me. I would afford anybody. You put me there with anybody, these American heavyweights, Ariola, anybody, I would afford them because I had to, but those guys don't have to. They can fight the lesser guys and still wait for their championship fight. By the time they get to their championship fight, they find a guy like Wladimir who's been, training for this all his life and beating the top people. He's well prepared, and then our guys are not.
In terms of technical skill, any specific aspect of Wladimir that concerns you? Any signature punch? Anything in particular?
His whole being concerns me. So, I mean he's 6'6", 245 pounds of giant, hard-hitting giant. That concerns me. I got to put my face in his way. So, I'm not looking forward to that part of it. I don't find it fun making my face. I already got a radio face. It's not a TV face. It's a radio face. You put me on radio, I can talk all day. We're good. You put me on TV, I break people's cameras and stuff. So, but to have them come continuously punch me in my face again I'm not looking forward to it.